Welcome back to AP World History. Now that we've gone on a journey on the Silk Road, we're going to take a look at the Indian Ocean trade routes. Now, the Indian Ocean trade routes connected the Indian Ocean, connects East Africa to the Middle East, to India, to Southeast Asia, to China. It is the most complex of the trade routes that we have, and it will be the longest lasting of them as well. It will continue into the pre-modern era and even after that. So you'll notice some of the cities involved here, which we'll talk about, some of the major areas. But one of the big things to notice is these two red arrows right here. Those are the monsoons, and these are seasonal winds that will blow one direction, east to west from April to September, and then November to February they'll blow west to east. And once people figured out how to ride these, it allowed them to travel between East Africa and the Middle East and India very, very quickly, where before they were kind of not able to do that. Now, part of the reason why this was possible was because of new technologies that were brought about, primarily the lantine sail and the junks with the rear rudder allowed people to navigate these monsoons. But the invention of the astrolabe, which helped people tell their geographic location based on the night sky, the stars in the night sky, and later the compass would really help with this process as well. But without these pieces of technology, you do not have the Indian Ocean trades. But with them, you have a flourishing trade route. Now, the major players in this are China during the Tang and Song dynasty with their major city of Guangzhou. India doesn't necessarily have a specific empire at this time. Remember, they've got problems with, not that diversity is a problem, but it hampers uniting the people. And so you have kind of these individual city-states like Calcutta and whatnot that become major trading centers, but you don't have a united India taking part in this. And then you have the Middle East with the Islamic empires of the Umayyads and the Abbasids establishing trade routes from the Middle East and spreading their religion, which we'll talk about in a little while, and connecting to East Africa. And then the smaller players are East Africa, which is known as the Swahili states, with their major city of Mombasa. And then you have Southeast Asia with the empires of Srivijaya and the Khmer. You also have several other empires during this time, small kingdoms that make up the Southeastern Islands or Southeast Asia islands, but these are two of the major and largest ones. So you might be wondering again, what makes this different from the Silk Road? And really, there isn't much. These products that we see here being sold are also products that were sold on the Silk Road, but maybe in a higher demand here. Because a unique thing with the Indian Ocean trade is you can carry a lot more on a ship, and it's a little bit safer at times than on camels. And so you can carry a lot more, which allows you to take some more or some different products. And so from Persia or the Middle East, you have frankincense and myrrh. You'll also have the dyes and dried fruits that we saw on the Silk Road previously. And if you're wondering what myrrh is, it's this stuff in the bowl here. It's an incense that you can burn. Makes things smell kind of nice. East Africa, you get ivory, gold, and exotic animal pelts that are traded along this. Along with that, some exotic woods as well, because you can actually carry lots of wood on a boat to India or to East Asia. India, again, cotton, ivory as well, since they have elephants, and their spices. But you can carry a lot more on these ships. Southeast Asia focuses on spices and gold. And then China has silk. That's the #1 product, but also porcelain and teas. And teas we also see go along the Silk Road. But the silk is the main thing that China focuses on with any of their exports. But if you're wondering what the China looks like, it's right there. That nice little teapot there is a porcelain teapot. Okay. Now, what else spread along this? Like we saw with the Silk Road, religion spreads. Hinduism and Buddhism will spread to East Asia, as you can see in the map in the bottom right. And then Islam will spread to East Africa and also later on to East Asia as we get through the post-classical period. it will spread to some of those islands there. And along with religions, the Indian language will become a major influence on the cultures and of the writing styles and languages of Southeast Asia, with a lot of them adopting India as the dominant culture. Um, on the flip side of that, on the other side of the trade route, we have East Africa, and they adopt mainly Muslim ideas. They adopt Islam. They become Islamic states, not as what we might think of as, when I say Islamic State, as ISIS or anything like that. They're actually fairly peaceful and very welcoming. And they develop Swahili as a language, which is a modern language now, which is a mixture of Arabic and, if you wanted to take a guess, what language spread throughout sub-Saharan Africa, that would be the Bantu. And so it's a mix of the Bantu and Arabic languages. And so as we saw with the Silk Road, this is leading to a more globalized world in that more people are trading and will continue to lead us into the modern world that we live in, where we are thoroughly connected by trade with all the regions or many of the regions of the world.